When the United States entered World War I in 1917, its military was deeply segregated. African Americans who wanted to serve their country often faced hostility, exclusion, and limited opportunities. Yet out of this environment emerged one of the most legendary regiments of the war, the 369th Infantry Regiment, better known as the Harlem Hellfighters. Their story is one of courage on the battlefield, determination in the face of prejudice, and cultural impact that stretched far beyond the trenches of France. The Harlem Hellfighters originated as the 15th New York National Guard Regiment, a unit composed largely of African American volunteers from Harlem and surrounding communities. At a time when racism was entrenched in American society, these men had to fight even for the right to fight. Many white officers doubted their abilities, and the U.S. Army initially relegated them to labor duties like digging trenches and unloading supplies. But the soldiers and their leaders were determined to prove their worth. In December 1917, the regiment sailed for France. Still, the U.S. military command hesitated to put them in combat alongside white American units. Instead, the 369th was assigned to the French Army, which welcomed them without the same racial prejudices. Issued French rifles, helmets, and gear, the Harlem Hellfighters finally got their chance to fight. The Hellfighters distinguished themselves almost immediately. In the spring of 1918, they were deployed to the front lines in the Champagne region, where they endured some of the most brutal fighting of the war. For 191 consecutive days, longer than any other American unit, they remained in combat, holding their ground under relentless artillery fire and machine gun attacks. One of their most famous episodes came when two soldiers, Private Henry Johnson and Private Needham Roberts, fought off a German raiding party in hand-to-hand combat despite being heavily outnumbered. Johnson, though badly wounded, fought with his rifle, a knife, and sheer determination, saving his comrade and repelling the attack. For his bravery, he was later awarded the Croix de Guerre, France's highest military honor. By the end of the war, the Harlem Hellfighters had earned a reputation for ferocity and resilience. The French decorated the entire regiment for its service, awarding many soldiers individual medals of valor. While the Hellfighters found respect in France, their treatment contrasted sharply with their experiences in the United States. French villagers welcomed them warmly, often socializing freely with African American troops, something unheard of back home. For many soldiers, it was their first taste of genuine racial equality. Yet upon returning to the U.S. after the war, the regiment faced the bitter reality that their sacrifices had not erased racism. Despite their heroism, they returned to a society still marked by segregation, racial violence, and limited civil rights. The contradictions were stark. Men who had risked their lives for democracy abroad were denied basic freedoms at home. The Hellfighters' impact went beyond the battlefield. Their regimental band, led by James Reese Europe, introduced jazz music to European audiences. Everywhere they played, from military parades to small French villages, their energetic rhythms captivated listeners. Many historians credit the Hellfighters band with helping to spread jazz across Europe, laying the foundation for the genre's global popularity. In military history, the Harlem Hellfighters set a precedent. They demonstrated that African American soldiers could fight with distinction and honor, paving the way for future black military units and eventually contributing to the desegregation of the U.S. Armed Forces in 1948. The Harlem Hellfighters' story is one of bravery, resilience, and cultural transformation. They fought two wars simultaneously, one against the Germans on the front lines and another against racism within their own nation. While they could not end racial prejudice in their time, their service challenged stereotypes and left a legacy of courage that inspired later generations of African American soldiers, artists, and leaders. Today, the Hellfighters are remembered not only as war heroes, but also as cultural ambassadors, bringing jazz to Europe and showing the world that patriotism and bravery know no color. Their legacy reminds us that history is not only about battles fought, but about the larger struggles for equality and dignity that endure long after the guns fall silent.